Hello and welcome to another beautiful morning. I have some milk coffee right over here. Yummy. And today I want to talk about project management and how if you need to really tell people all the time in project management when you are going to call them, who needs to call who needs to email at what time and when and one day what day. So specificity is very, very important. Clarity and specificity, it's very important in project management. If you have clear communication and clear deadlines and clarity. So you have to really tell people, I'm going to call you tomorrow at this hour. I'm going to do this. I'm waiting for you to do this kind of thing so that you make sure that people don't just, you don't assume that people are going to know exactly what they have to do. You make sure and you have a verbal agreements with them when it comes to the projects that you are managing or your own personal projects. In case you don't have deadlines, you can make up deadlines. You can make things a bit more urgent if you want to make things faster. These things work for you as well, but they are a bit more, let's say, hard to implement in your own life because we tend to have a bit more of a difficult time doing whatever we set out to do. Like, I was supposed to make 6 courses like a week ago. They were supposed to be done a week ago, and I haven't done any of them. So the only thing that's stopping me is resistance. I feel a lot of resistance because I'm not sure what to paint, and I don't feel comfortable just jumping in without knowing exactly what I'm gonna do. Even though I should be jumping more and I should be failing more because I have about a 10% failure rate. Like 10% of the courses that I film, I don't post because they're subpar. But I should be having that failure rate to about, let's say, 30-40%. Even though it seems like I will be wasting 40% of my time, in fact, I'll be gaining more than double the productivity just because I will lower the start barrier, let's say. I would lower the amount of pressure and resistance that I have because I'm like, okay, 4 out of 10 courses, I'm gonna fail. So it's okay to fail 40% of the time. And I haven't done that. I still act as if 100% of the courses that I make should be great or at least good enough to be posted and edited. But it doesn't make sense because it's not a very good strategy because it creates friction and it creates resistance. Whenever you want a 100% success rate, you are going to detest the thing that you want to do. And it's going to be slow and it's going to be painful and you're going to have a lot of resistance. So build in some failure rate. I think it's important to have a failure rate when whatever you are doing because that will ensure that you do much more than you set out to do because you don't have a lot of friction and you don't have a lot of what's it called? Resistance. So whenever you are so well, the main difference between managing yourself and managing others is that when managing others, you don't assume the failure rate that much because you think that they will do a good job because that's why they whatever. But it's good to assume a failure rate even with others, to anticipate it if it happens, to have strategies for when it happens, to because like let's say you give someone a project that has 10 tasks, the same task over and over again. And it's quite a difficult task. And it you paid this person an amount of money, let's say $1,000. And if you build in a failure rate, you might pay them about $800. And if they fail at 20% of what they do, you can then tell them, like, look, I want this fixed and this fixed. I'm going to pay you another $200 for them because your time is. So you're getting out of those $200, you are actually, and if they don't, they don't. They do the work perfectly. You just earned $200 by doing nothing, except for preparing for 20% failure. I think it's a good strategy to really give people a bit of a 20% failure rate when it comes to tasks. So especially difficult ones. And um, we don't call it a failure rate. We usually call it revisions, things that we want. It's a more nuanced thing, but it doesn't matter. It's almost the same thing. But when it comes to yourself, you should have depending on how much resistance you feel to that task, you should have a lot more of a failure rate, close to 40% or 50%, so that you do a lot more than you set out to do. And it's a lot easier for your brain to just go, okay, if I fail, it's fine. I'm just going to do it again. Because to be honest, it's so much better to fail and do the same thing again. You will get it so much better because you are now going to ensure that you don't make the same mistakes. You're going to make other mistakes, but you are not going to make the same mistakes that you made the first time. So that's the biggest point here. Having a higher failure rate ensures that you not only have a better product, but you have a faster one. So even though you might think that this failure rate is unacceptable, it lowers down the percentage of the times that you are not doing what you are supposed to do. Today was an amazing day. I painted a course, which is super nice to do. I actually implemented a new strategy to motivate, not motivate, but like make myself work. It's by doing a lesser version of the thing that I want to do, and that puts me in the right headspace and doing the right thing, and it also makes my brain feel weird because I'm like, why am I doing this instead of painting a course? So if you can somehow do something that really wants you to do the other thing that you want to do, like you do something super redundant, like start to paint but do not record, or start talking to the camera. Like if you really want to get better at talking in front of the camera, put the camera in front of yourself and don't film yourself, just talk. And you're going to be like, your brain is going to feel like fuzzy. It's going to be like, no, why am I doing this? Why no filming? Why am I not filming? Or do the opposite. Like, not the opposite, but like after that, you start filming yourself and then you don't post, you delete everything. And then you start editing it and rendering it and then you delete it. You just watch it and delete it. And your brain is going to be like, I don't like what you're doing. I really don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate the fact that you're not doing anything with the work that I put in. So, yeah, it's the same thing that I did today. And it really, really, like, your brain doesn't understand what to do with it. It really doesn't. It's like you paint and you do the thing that, let's say, talk in front of the camera and you don't press record and you start talking and you start explaining, and then your brain is like, why? Why am I doing this? And continue doing it until your brain gets so frustrated until it wants to press the record button. And it's like, you don't need any more motivation after that. It's like, yeah, it's a complete waste of time, but it's not. At the same time, it's not a complete waste of time because you look into the camera, you do the act that you need to do, and you tell your brain, we're not even, we're pretending. And the brain is going to be like, but I want to do the actual thing. Let me do the actual thing, something that you feared. Yeah. Something that you actually, and you can do this. And when it comes to the camera, you can really do this to your brain. And like, first step, like I would do it this way. If you have anxiety about talking in front of camera, I would not even start the camera. I would just put the light, put the camera or the phone, and I would not even start it and start talking for 1 minute. Do that 10 times for the first 2 weeks. You just do that for the first 2 weeks, and your brain is going to be like, dude, we've done this 140 times for 140 minutes. I want to press record. I bet you don't get to 2 weeks, even though it's 140 minutes. Well, let's say it's about 200 minutes, which is not a lot. It's 3 hours, I think, a bit more than 3.5 hours of your existence. A movie, a long movie, a Tarantino movie. So you do that for the first 2 weeks. The second 2 weeks, you record, but you instantly delete. You are not allowed to play back the video. You delete it. And your brain is gonna be like, what are you doing? It's been 300, almost, it's been 240 times you've frustrated me, and you've wasted 6 hours in this thing that you want to get better at. You've wasted 6 hours. And then you start, well, I would do something different. I would record the first one, like that would be very interesting, to record the first session, yeah, and then record the session exactly, when you, like the first session where you don't even start the camera, you record that. And then I would record after 2 weeks after you start recording. So that's 2 videos of 1 minute. And then after another 2 weeks, you would delete everything except the last one. And then you would change, and you can watch every one. You would watch all three of them together, and then you would start to watch everything afterwards for 2 weeks and edit everything and together to make a coherent video. And then after you, for those 2 weeks, you need to delete it as well. So you are learning editing, but you are deleting the video. And then afterwards, you are allowed to post, to edit the videos. You do the same thing. You film for 10 minutes every day. You edit the video for 10 to 20 minutes. and then you render it. You are allowed to keep it, but you are only allowed to post one out of the 24, out of the 14 that you will be creating. You are allowed to post one, and that takes about 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks. No, it's 4 weeks. It's exactly 1 month, and it's 3.5 hours, 7 hours, 14 hours in total. Plus the editing, if we add another 14 hours, that's 30 hours in a month. So 1 hour a day. So it's 30 hours. It's 1 hour a day to do this experiment. But your brain is gonna be like, what are you doing? And you are going to be afterwards, you will have an understanding of your brain much more, and you will be able to film yourself. It will feel so easy afterwards. I've done sort of an experiment like this, but I've posted everything because I don't have any shame. So I've been posting more than 400 videos. I've filmed close to 500 videos, well, more than 500 videos in the last, more than 500 videos in the last 4 months. And I've edited and posted 380 something, almost 400 videos, not including shorts. I don't include shorts. That's another 100. And that's just cut out of the, yeah. It's crazy to think that I filmed over 500 videos in 4 months. Crazy. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.